Hey, how's it going, guys? We got a storm brewing on Tuesday nights live on the Superstation. Even though I went on air 6 minutes earlier than I said, it's Tuesday night live stream time, so sorry I'm a little bit late. Didn't get out of work for a while, so wasn't in the mood to stream until just now. So yeah, I had a live chat earlier, but then I switched to Hangout. So I think I had TJ Watson join us earlier in that other live chat. So what's up, TJ Watson? Comic Core Chad, what's going on, man? And LP, aka Niobe Comic, he got his live streaming capability back. He's going to do a live stream himself tonight. So I know we'll be heading after I get done showing all these books and talking about all of them, that good stuff. But if you guys hadn't figured it out by now, every Tuesday we start these shows by talking about the books I read last week. So on top of the stack, we got Venom #7 with lots of teeth and no tongues. So didn't find that hidden variant. This is 1 of 2 copies my store had, and this one was pulled for me. So actually, it's a pretty interesting read. I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about what happens in this book, but there's an interesting, I guess it's kind of a spoiler if you haven't read it already. But the main bad guy in this next arc is Ultimate Reed Richards from the Ultimate Universe. So I thought he was dead after Secret Wars, but maybe I'm wrong, or I missed a read, or I forget how Secret Wars ended. But nonetheless, Ultimate Reed Richards has Venom and Eddie Brock captive. So that's pretty much this whole issue. So I'm really curious to see what Donny Cates is cooking up next. But nonetheless, really solid read. Donny Cates is still killing it on Venom, even though his first arc is over. Still worth a read, that's for sure. Also, next up, my Comic Core pick of the week, Murder Falcon #1. I had no idea what this book was when I saw it on the stand. I just went and picked it up because the cover looked really funny. But basically, it's just this overweight, long-haired rock and roller dude. He summons a murder falcon to fight like kaijus using the power of heavy metal. So this kaiju, or not the kaiju, but Murder Falcon is completely powerless without rock and roll. So it's a very funny read. I talked about more on Comic Core last Friday, but I'm probably going to put this on my pull list. It was very entertaining. It had me laughing out loud. It's probably been a while since like Chew that I've laughed that hard reading a comic, so I definitely recommend it. Next up, we got this shiny luminescent blue eye foil Supergirl #23. And I did hear a lot of people saying they got like dinged up copies and stuff. And I would say mine is not the best condition either. So definitely a lot of these need some sort of pressing, even though I know a lot of these, a lot of pressings use heat and stuff. So yeah, kind of disappointed to see that. But hey, it was actually a pretty solid read. I haven't read Supergirl for a while now, so I thought the story is interesting. I might actually go back and pick some of them up because apparently she has discovered that the Green Lantern Corps, or at least the Guardians, may somehow be responsible for the destruction of Krypton. So I thought that was super interesting and really out of left field for me. So I might have to see exactly what kind of story they're messing with in Supergirl. So I thought that was very interesting. Next up, Spider-Geddon #1. Finally, after 10,000 Spider-Geddon tie-ins, crossovers, issues, zeros, we actually finally get a just plain Spider-Geddon #1. And it was actually a decent read, too. I might just go ahead and finally bite the bullet and put this on my pull list as well. A lot of crazy deaths happened in this book, as you guys have probably already heard by now. So it looks like they're getting into the Edge of Spider-Verse and Spider-Verse stuff. So pretty close equal to that, as in, the bad guys from that are coming back to fight the spiders in this. Surprisingly, unless I just missed them, I haven't had a chance to see our Peter Parker, the 616 Pete, involved in Spider-Geddon yet. Like I said, he might just be tied up in his own book or something like that, but it seemed like it was like a Doc Ock version of Spidey and Miles, and I think Spider-Gwen was in there, and a couple of others, and obviously Spider-Man Noir, but we all know what happens to him in this. But once again, interesting read. And I got to shout out, just joined the chat. What's going on? Great Legends show. He says, good to see my favorite show on Tuesday nights. Well, SmackDown 2. Thanks, Legend. With Legend being in the chat now, I can talk about Farmhand 4 a little bit more. I know it's always his pick of the week, this is a really good book. Rob Gilroy has been killing it on Farmhand. So very entertaining read so far. So if you guys have been living under a rock the last few years, and or just now like getting around to reading Chew, maybe, or haven't read Chew yet, obviously go read Chew. It's a great book. Couldn't recommend that one enough. But the artist, his follow-up is Farmhand. I think I've said this about every time Farmhand comes out. But nonetheless, like just the fact that I was expecting the art to be fun in this, and it is. But just the fact that Rob Gilroy is actually crafting together a pretty fascinating story. I'm very impressed with this book so far. So check this one out. And this one, like Jed's daughter, we kind of see her backstory a little bit in terms of why she's so loyal to Jed, and all the crap that she's gone through, and kind of shows she's a badass too. Of course, she's a soldier on the front of the cover, so you kind of expect that. So, like I said, very happy with this book so far. I think they're doing one more issue, and I think Rob's taking a little bit of a break in between 5-issue arcs. So I think there's one more in November, and I want to say they might be taking December off. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about December issue 6, but nonetheless, it's a great book. You should be picking it up, and it's only 4 issues deep so far. I think my comic shop still has most of them, if not even the first issue. Then the last thing I picked up from my local shop this week, I read quickly through this because I haven't been picking it up. I mainly, sometimes I buy it for the cover. I'll admit a lot of people do in the community. I had to get this cool looking Art Germ Catwoman cover like everybody else. I read through it. Like I said, I didn't exactly understand the stories going on because I missed a couple. But nonetheless, Joelle Jones, her art's very pretty in this. Unfortunately, I do a little bit of flashing back and stuff, so she didn't do the full book. She did about half. Nonetheless, still a really good looking book on the inside too. Before I get into my next haul, let's get back into the chat. Looks like we got Sam's Tangled Web. What's going on, man? Glad you could make it. And then, like every Tuesday, there's HME3 Comics. Glad you could make it as usual, man. That's awesome. Great Legend Show says, great show over the weekend. Bueller needs to brush up on his Marvel trivia. Yeah, I think he's talking about Comic Core last Friday, 10 p.m. every Friday. I think I say this every week. It just gets better and better every week. This last week, Bueller hosted our show, and he found out about maybe 60 seconds before the show started that he was hosting, and he did a phenomenal job. I said, I think they're wanting me to host one. I'm like, I don't know if I can follow Bueller. He did such a good job hosting last Friday. But if you guys hadn't checked that out, it was a great show. Looks like Sam Stagel Webb says, well, I can always help him with that. LOL. All right. So before I, worked late tonight, I needed to unwind a little bit. So on the way home, I drove to Half Price Books to see what they had because I haven't been there in about 8 days. And found a couple things, nothing too crazy this week. Got a Ultimate Spider-Man 87. Last week I said 86 was my run completion. So when I went and put 86 in my short box, 87 was missing. So luckily they had 2 copies of 87. So I picked up that. I was very relieved they had a copy because they just got them in a couple days ago, I guess. So someone dropped off a big Ultimate run and had a bunch of miscellaneous issues. I got the Carnage run, which I already have, obviously. So happy they had 87. Now maybe I can complete an Orange by double that and needed 85. That happens to me all the time too. The other dollar book I bought, I seem to be tripping over these, so I'm starting to pick them up for people who need them eventually, I guess. Green Lantern 20, first Jessica Cruz, and the finale of the Jeff Johns era of Green Lantern, I guess you could say. Nonetheless, a very phenomenal read. This one doesn't look like it's maybe been read once because it's a square bound. You can kind of see where the divot's at in it. But nonetheless, first Jessica Cruz, a lot of people like to collect this book. And I figured, why not get another copy? So there's that. And then for 20 cents, so I paid $3 for my total half price book stack. So $3, didn't think that was too bad. So my 20 centers for the week. I'm going to get these Bull and Animal Mans one by dang one if I have to. This week I got Animal Man 52. Really, another really cool Brian Bullen cover. This might have finally been the last one in the whole stash they had. But missed that one last week, but no one's collecting Animal Man, so yay me. Then just some run fillers for the Brubaker Captain America run. Got a kind of beat up issue 2. It's not too bad, but hey, 20 cents, can't beat it. So issue 2 of the beginning of the Ed Brubaker Cap. Was very happy with that. And then I got an issue 16. I believe, yeah, Mike Perkins does the art inside this, which, hey, I like Epting and I like Perkins too. So they both killed it on that run. And then in issue 17. So like I said, I need to keep track of how many I think I have a lot of issues to fill this run, but I have the omnibus, at least the first one, so at least I can read it when I want to. But I'm just starting to collect these single issues, so not too much from Half Price Books this week. But before I get into my auction winnings, let's get into the chat. So it looks like we've got Niobe Comic. Once again, Niobe Comic, he's going to go live here in a little bit. He got his live streaming services back on his YouTube channel. So congratulations, Niobe Comic. Very happy to see what you got going on tonight after I get off of here. So I'm going to go through as quick as I can so we can not run over each other too bad here. Mr. Unknown Comics Guy says, hey, so what's going on, Mr. Unknown Comics Guy? Another great YouTube channel. Glad you can make it, man. And it looks like we've got Miss Hustle in the chat. If you guys haven't checked out her Comics Hustlers website, I did leave it in the link below because she does like to leave a lot of links for the community. So the least I can do is put that link on my little video here. So after this video, go check out Miss Hustle's website, please. It is down below. She also says she loves the sweater. Thank you, Miss Hustle. Glad you enjoy it. I'm glad it's finally cold out so I can wear hoodies and not be sweating up here in my room, because now instead of being really hot in this room, it's kind of really cold in this room, and that's the way I like it. So, Great Legend says, picked up Lego DC Villains. Oh, I didn't know it came out this week. That was my Christmas list. So, let me know how that one is. I'll definitely want to pick that up at some point. So, I didn't know. I thought that was November. That's cool. Everybody saying hi to each other. Had to refresh LP. Looking good tonight. Is he cutting out? Oh, no. Am I cutting out again, guys? I guess just let me know. Like I said, I got the power of the Ethernet cable at my full disposal, but I can turn. I'm in Hangout, so I can turn down the. I have it on HD, so I can turn that down if I have to. And then tonight's beer. I guess this isn't Comics and Cold Ones isn't until Thursday, but when I don't get home till 9 o'clock, sometimes you gotta crack open a gumball head. So funny cat smoking a cigarette while in a spacesuit. Don't ask me why. Thought it was funny. It's a great beer. So there's your beer of the night. Why not? But before I do get into this, I do have a community member of the week. Once again, link down below. This week I'm going to pick Spidey Fan. It's everyone probably is sub to him by now, but I just want to give him a special shout out just because every time I comment on one of his videos or he watches mine, he's always just the super nicest person possible. And he's always like willing to wheel and deal with you too. So for instance, I linked his Marvel Cinematic Universe Mondo gallery video that he posted a day or two ago. And he knows I obviously like Mondo posters. So he's been communicating with me just as like, hey, man, if you see anything you like, just let me know. I can go pick it up for you. And I've never had anyone reach out to me like that and offer to pick up posters when they're in the area like that. So I thought that was super cool. So big shout out to Spidey Fan. He's my YouTuber of the week. I guess that's what I'm going to call it for the time being. So check him out if you haven't already. Let's see. We got Michael Porson in the chat. He says, pulled the cable, LOL. Yeah, nice huge cable. This thing's 100 feet long. So yeah, it definitely has gotten the job done so far. Better than buying routers and stuff that's triple the price. Here today, why not just go on Amazon and buy a really long cord? All right, enough rambling. Back to what I got in the auctions last week. There were 3 auctions in 7 days last week, so great job, community. You're making me bankrupt. But one of those packages did ship because the auction was last Wednesday, so big shout out to Alex the Comic Order. I had a couple excellent lots on his auction. The first one up, I got this Thanos Rising lot, which I just went and put in $1 for this lot, and the bid actually went through, so I have no idea why people didn't want this. But yeah, I won this for $1. Obviously, I had to pay shipping on top of that, but hey, I mean, these books were $4 a piece originally, so I can't believe Alex started them at $1 and no one bid but me. So, but nonetheless, you get some Jason Aaron, Simone Bianchi art. So I read the first one, hadn't had a chance to read the rest of the series yet, but I plan on doing so. Pretty cool series so far. It looks like they're going to explore the origins of Thanos. It kind of looks like he's just a basic kid in junior high at this point in the book. So I'm really curious to see what Jason Aaron's got going on in these other 4 issues. So there's issue 1. Number 2, really cool cover there, like they're all going to be. Issue 3. Number 4. And lastly, number 5. So like I said, I was extremely happy for that deal. But I thought the steal of the night was this X-Men lot, which I did have a couple other people bidding against me on this one, so I did pay a pretty penny. But I think for everything, I only paid them like, including the Thanos and that shipping, I think it was only like $60 total. So can't believe I got all this stuff for this cheap. So I got an X-Men 84, so this is part of that reprint run. This may be my first or second reprint of an X-Men. I don't really collect these too much, but hey, if I see them for cheap, I'll get them every time. I just never see them. So issue 84, not the best condition in the world, but hey, it's from the 70s. What do you expect? So there's that. I got an issue 97, which I did need this one. So anything I can get from that early Cockrum run, I'm going to be all over, especially if it's like under $10 a book, let alone like $5 a book. So very happy to get 97 in the lot. Needed this one too. Here's issue 98. Once again, very happy with that. And he was nice enough throwing a couple milers. 99. This one might be a double for me, actually. So this might be my only double I picked up in this whole lot. So they're gnarly chunk missing out of the top. But hey, what are you going to do? Still happy with the book. Got issue 106. 107. And I hope you guys like X-Men because that's going to be the books I'm looking at most of the night. And then it skips to 173. I think this might be the first or second time Rogue is with the X-Men. I'm thinking this is the first appearance of Rogue in the X-Men. Could be wrong, but it's pretty dang close. Got a 194. And I've got a phone call that I have to ignore. Sorry about that, guys. Guess we're live. Got a 197. Awesome Doctor Doom cover. Who doesn't love him some Doctor Doom? Got an issue 200, which actually this is a really nice copy, in my opinion, of issue 200. Well, except for that chunk I just noticed at the bottom, but what are you going to do? But nonetheless, double size early on issues are kind of hard to find in nicer condition. Got a 221 first Mr. Sinister. Happy with that. 223. Got a 229. Got a number 230. And like I said, that just keeps going through the bronze and early copper age. 233. 235. 236. Like I said, I'm glad to finally fill most of this run. 237. 238. 245. And 246. And thank you once again, Alex. And I'm just wondering what is going on with my live feed.